It started on a bright spring morning, the kind that made the neighborhood feel almost perfect. The sun poured over neatly trimmed lawns. The hum of lawnmowers in the distance blended with the occasional sound of birdsong, and everything seemed still. Everything except for the sudden knock on my door. When I opened it, there was no one standing there, just a folded piece of paper taped to the glass. In bold letters, stamped with the HOA logo, it read, "Notice of violation." The letter was short and sharp. "Multiple complaints have been filed regarding your pet, a large golden retriever, due to aggressive behavior. Immediate corrective action required." Aggressive behavior? The words didn't even make sense. My dog Cooper had never so much as growled at anyone. He was a gentle, tail-wagging marshmallow of fur, who believed every human was a friend and every squirrel was a personal challenge. I thought it had to be some kind of clerical error. Maybe the HOA mixed me up with another resident. But as I scanned the notice, I saw something telling. Each complaint was submitted by the same person. The name was familiar. Karen Delaney, a neighbor who lived 2 streets over. Karen had a reputation. She was known for measuring lawns with a ruler, reporting people for leaving their trash bins out a few minutes too long, and loudly enforcing rules that no one else cared about. I had never had direct issues with her before, but I knew the type. If she had decided I was a problem, she would not let go. The next morning, I took Cooper for a walk, as I did every day. We passed a few neighbors, exchanging friendly nods, but I noticed Karen's car parked halfway up the street. She was sitting inside, sunglasses on, staring straight ahead. As we passed, her phone came up to her face, and I realized she was recording us. Cooper was happily trotting, oblivious, but I felt the weight of her gaze the entire time. That evening, another letter arrived, another complaint, this time claiming Cooper had lunged at her while we walked. The accusation was absurd. We hadn't been within 10 feet of her all day. Still, the HOA notice was formal, stating that continued incidents could result in fines or removal of the animal from the property. Removal. That word lit a spark of anger in my chest. It was clear this wasn't just a misunderstanding. This was deliberate. Karen had targeted us, and she wasn't going to stop until she got what she wanted. Over the next week, the complaints escalated. Barking at night, chasing children, defecating on private property. None of it was true, but the HOA seemed to take her word at face value. Each new notice came with a stronger tone, warning of severe consequences. I began to feel the slow squeeze of frustration turn into something sharper. I knew I needed to protect Cooper. He wasn't just a pet, he was family, and if Karen wanted a fight, I wasn't going to roll over and let her win. But first, I had to understand why she was doing this. That answer came sooner than I expected. One afternoon, I was trimming my hedges when I overheard 2 neighbors talking near the sidewalk. They were speaking in hushed tones, but one phrase caught my attention. "She's just trying to keep people away from her yard." The other neighbor nodded, adding, "Especially now, with all that stuff going on over there." They noticed me listening and quickly moved on, but those words stayed in my head. All that stuff going on over there. What could that mean? And why would Karen want fewer people near her property? As the sun dipped below the horizon that evening, I sat on my porch with Cooper at my feet, the air cooling around us. Karen's house was 2 streets over, but from my spot, I could just see the outline of her backyard fence. Something about the way she'd been watching me, the way she'd escalated so quickly, it didn't feel random. I realized then that this wasn't just about my dog. There was something else at play, something she didn't want anyone to find out. And now, she had given me every reason to dig deeper. The next step would be risky. But if I was right, uncovering the truth could turn the entire neighborhood against her. And that was exactly what I intended to do.